aggressively.
I'm not going to even don't say that.
See, stats, have you got your colon checked?
Not this year.
About your colon.
You need to go get that done.
Yeah, I do.
He fights, you do. Get
You
your
got
colon
your colon
checked.
checked.
Yeah. I am. Have you had yours?
I had mine a while ago. I'm at about 5 years ago. I need to do it again.
I gotta find.
Well, it's
you
about
the
my
one-
time that I need to.
you
'cause
don't
I
like
just,
it.
No, I don't like it, but
She said you don't like it.
Well,
you wouldn't like it either.
I wouldn't.
gotta find.
We just
time.
lost our screen out here, our backdrop.
That's the funny part about that.
Yeah.
I'm trying to find time to get into a doctor.
Yeah, but no.
You guys hear that back there?
Yeah, the TV screen went out. It lost the
Go.
graphic on it. You 44 this year, E?
Yes.
Yeah, you need to go get it.
I know. Like I said, between running around EJ from bowling practice to play practice, then by the time I get done with that, I take a shower and come straight here.
They're going to have to slip me a roofie this time because
Two of them.
I ain't going this easy.
Okay.
High speed chase, 4-5 is the freeway. Slanging my, banging my, swinging my coupe. DeVille, scoop, DeVille, like that.
Yeah,
It's really not that high.
yeah, it's dead. You just got here, Clarence, 1.8 seconds ago. Welcome. This is our Tuesday night segment of In the Know, where we talk about what's going on in the community as well as what's happening in the world around us. Please remember to like, subscribe, share, and stay with us as we continue to keep you in the know. We're going to get right into it, something that has been in the news for quite some time now, Facebook, or as we now know it as Meta or Metaverse. Let's go ahead and talk about that for a second. What is that? What is Meta? Metaverse. Jetsons. That's how I see it.
Meta means beyond.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
That in itself is kind of scary.
Well, and I think too, I mean, the more you dig into this, the more you find. I know I found some verbiage from Facebook directly that talked about in the future, what they wanted to do was make it so that people could literally port to work
Mm-hmm.
virtually. So you would be in the office, but you would still be at home. It sounded very creepy Jetson-ish to
Hey,
me.
you know,
Right, so,
I
I mean-
might want to do that.
I want to
Yeah.
do that here.
Right. But you know, when you really think about that, I mean, it's almost like they're trying to create a world where you never really come in contact with another human being. Because now, you know, if you think about the metaverse and they can actually take your avatar, like we've been playing games, like creating our
Right.
avatars, but they're getting ready to make it so that you can actually be your avatar and interact with each other.
You know what it reminds me of is Sims. You know, the kids when
Oh,
they play
man.
Sims and make
You
their whole world
absolutely
and make
right.
their person.
Yes.
When I was reading on this, that's exactly what it reminded me of. Was
Mhm.
Sims.
What I don't like
Mhm.
about it, and we have been playing into this ever since they instituted it. And the thing is, you know, making your avatars, having your facial, you know,
Mhm.
those putting your face in and redesigning your face, those filters and different
Yeah.
things, and they're
Yes.
getting your full facial structure. What it is, yes, I believe they're trying to make a world where we don't communicate physically anymore.
Mhm.
But secondly, you are giving up so much information.
Mhm.
We just talked about this in our technology segment. We're feeding them all of our information that there's nothing sacred for your person anymore.
That's right.
And then when you keep going and going and going, and like you said, man, I mean, beyond, what is beyond, you know, that you're going to keep giving this information?
Unknown.
Yes.
Right.
And no limits.
Right.
Yes.
And when they use the word teleport, you know, they were quoted in saying the name was chosen to echo the key product that that Zuckerberg hopes Facebook, now Meta, will be represented by the metaverse, the name for shared online 3D virtual space in creating a future version of the internet. So people can teleport instantly as a hologram to work, to get coffee without even having to leave the house.
Just
How are you gonna get coffee as a hologram? Does that make sense to you?
Virtual coffee.
That's it. So
It's mind games.
seriously, it's all, I mean, it's imagination, but you would put on these glasses and anything that you want to do, you can literally do it. And so it's called connected spaces at some point. So all of these different spaces can actually be brought together. And then, so taking it a step further, they're going to create something called horizontal or horizon world or horizon home, where you can actually be anywhere, like your scenery. So you know how people choose a
Right,
home
yeah.
and then they like, oh, I want this type of scenery. You can
a
have
green screen.
you
Right.
can have
Correct.
paradise
Correct.
as your scenery every day, or you can change it. Hawaii today,
Right.
New York the next day.
You,
So
you
it's
want to
just-
know how you do that? You get outside. You ain't got to look at no glasses. You take those glasses off.
See,
You
that's
get
your dad.
outside.
He
You
did
go
that.
see Hawaii. You go see New
No,
York.
no, no.
You go see
Well,
Chicago.
you know something?
All I
that's
can
funny?
tell y'all
It's
is
just like-
Microsoft ain't playing.
It's just like now, you know, when we grew up, we went outside, we played.
Right.
So they basically trying to make us to the point where we don't want to go outside no more like our kids.
That's done already.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean,
It
our
is.
kids,
Rare. It's rare.
Our kids don't want to go outside. It's a punishment to them. So it's going to be almost like a punishment to us
Yeah.
to go
Yes.
outside.
So let's do
It's-
this for our listeners.
Yes.
Let's take a movie
Mhm.
that displayed what we're talking about in that movie.
Demolition Man.
Yeah,
Avatar,
No, Demolition Man.
Jurassic Park.
No,
Oh.
Morpheus.
The Matrix.
The Matrix.
Okay.
Powerful.
Yeah.
Total Recall.
I was
Yeah,
gonna say
it's Total
Total Recall.
Recall.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that was one
the
we
mind
talked
game.
about. I
Yeah.
talked about this with my
So
students.
let's give an illustration of what scene. Demolition Man.
Demolition Man.
The sex
Sandra
scene.
Bullock. Yeah, Sandra Bullock and
The sex
Sylvester
scene.
Stallone. Yeah.
The sex scene.
Powerful.
It was all
point.
virtual.
No touch.
No
No
touch.
touch.
So she told him, you want to have sex. And he
Yeah.
says,
Yeah. And he
Yeah.
started getting undressed.
He-
And she was like, no, what are you doing? I mean, she
I don't
freaked
remember
out.
that.
Me neither.
Y'all don't remember? Oh, man. Come
Wonder
on.
why it sticks out in you guys.
Well, what was the
Exactly.
name of the movie y'all was talking about the other day? And she said all she remembered was the hairstyle.
Monsters
Monster
Ball.
Ball.
Monsters Ball.
Who did? Oh, yeah.
Yeah, come on.
That's
speaks for itself,
important.
yeah.
That's a
Not
visual.
important.
That's
But
a
no,
visual.
in Demolition Man, they were he wanted to be intimate. So he started getting undressed and she brought out these headsets. She said, no, we don't touch anymore. We don't do anything anymore. Even the policing was, virtual. How do you virtual police?
Yeah.
So, I mean, it's crazy.
It might be
It-
safer that way.
So
Yeah.
let's ask a question before we move on to the next one, Gio. Why would Facebook do this now?
Because they have to
COVID.
keep doing something greater than what they're already doing. And so just connecting people the way they've been connected them and building relationships, that's boring now to somebody with this type of mind.
Yeah.
And so it won't stop. And so and then think about it. When we say God is omnipresent, and
Yes.
so now they're making something that
So you're
is
trying to say they play a
omni-
God?
so I'm just telling you. So his thing is, this is what he says. He's trying to create an omni connection.
So he's trying to play God.
I don't.
He's
Yeah, I
trying
don't.
to play
Yeah, I mean, you could say that. So I'm just
Trying to play
saying.
God.
So he want to give people those omni experiences,
Yeah.
so you can be in all these
Well,
places.
I mean, you also got to think about it. Like you said, why is he doing that? Just look at the times that we are in right now.
Yes.
If I could continue to keep you at a scare tactic and say, you don't need to be outside, but we could create
The
a
outside.
space for you where
Mhm.
you don't have to go outside.
Yeah.
And just keep that mind control over you.
hmm
There
Yeah.
you go.
I think what
Yeah.
they're doing is genius, bro. Wrap your head around this. Facebook has begun to get the name that is for the parents.
Mm-hmm.
They're
Oh.
losing the younger generation.
Right.
That's true.
So from a business standpoint, man, just imagine sitting in the room trying to figure out what's the next great thing that we could grab a hold of to
Mhm.
move forward, to gain traction,
Mhm.
and to also maintain the youthful aspect of it.
Mm-hmm.
Because Facebook, they say theoretically, has been losing ground to TikTok, Snapchat. The youth is totally switching to those platforms.
Mhm.
So I think that's one of their main reasons. And then another reason could be possibly they don't have a platform to stand on their own. the app has to be bought through what? The App Store?
Yes.
Oh, Google Play.
You're right.
Right.
Correct, right? So to become freestanding from a business standpoint, we're looking at
Yeah.
why would Facebook do this now? That would be one of the main reasons to become self-sustaining.
hmm
So
And that's the thing.
I get what
that's
they're
good.
doing.
Yeah.
Thinking
From the
ahead.
business aspect too,
Mhm.
but it's
I-
just
That's
from
why I
the
say
human aspect. I
he's
just
very smart.
Yeah.
Mhm.
And so it'll be metaverse, and Facebook would be underneath
Right.
metaverse,
Right.
so to speak.
That's
so,
where I'll be.
Yeah,
I'll be.
and
I mean, the regular stuff.
And then the one thing that I did hear him say that was really spooky. So it won't just feel real anymore. It will be real.
Nah,
So.
nah, it ain't real.
Yeah.
It ain't
Yeah.
real.
So you know how we have all of these buildings with different pictures on the
Mhm.
wall? So you could stand next to one of these buildings with this 3D art, and the art will actually move and come out. Like if you have these
Mhm.
glasses on. I mean, that's the kind of weird stuff that will be going
Weird.
on.
Yeah, I'm
So-
gonna pass on that
You
part.
said the word weird.
What you got, Jill? Let's go get it.
Uh-huh.
Over 50,000 people, 8 deaths, 17 hospitalized,
Mhm.
11 of those with cardiac arrests, ages 14 to 27, brings us to
Travis Scott.
Travis
Scott.
Scott.
Jill, you said
Afterworld.
14. Listen, and actually the youngest one I know that's still in the hospital is 9 years old.
Yeah, a lot of new information is coming out in the last I checked. This
Mhm.
morning there was 12 lawsuits. Right now,
Yeah.
as of a couple hours ago, there was 14
Mhm.
lawsuits that have came in. So this is all over social media. There are videos. There are videos that are very hard to watch. There are
Yeah.
testimonies by people who were there, said they were there.
Who are they
Mhm.
suing though? Who are the
Suing
lawsuits?
everybody.
Travis
against?
Scott.
Astro World.
Yeah.
Travis Scott is because it was his festival or his tour. He's one of the main named defendants in the case. I don't know
Probably
promotion wise. Live Nation.
Live Nation.
Live
too,
Nation might
probably.
Okay, so let's show some sympathy to those that lost people and their
Mhm.
family loved ones, definitely.
Yes.
But from the perspective of the freedom of choice to attend an event,
Mhm.
theoretically, right?
Right.
Mhm.
And when you go to that event, I mean, anything can happen. If
Right.
it's naturally this brother's doing stage performing, doing what
Right.
he does for a living.
Mhm.
So how does he incite, or could he be accused or held accountable for something such as this? And they said this is like the worst that's ever happened in America.
Historically.
Wow.
Correct.
Yes.
Yeah.
And I think, I found some information that this isn't the first time something like this has happened. And at some point, I think you need to understand what kind of a concert you're going to and take accountability for your own actions. If you know there's going to be 50,000 people there,
Mhm.
there was a lot of drug use. There was a lot of, I'm just going to say, blatant stupidity. Again, we feel for those who lost their lives. But, at what point are we going to start taking accountability for our own actions? So in
Mhm, mhm.
2015 and 2017, Travis Scott he pleaded guilty to 2 separate charges for inciting violence, telling people to jump off of balconies, but he didn't push them. They did jump off of the balconies. Also, what did you say, Live Nation?
Live
Mhm.
They
Nation.
have a history of safety violations dating back for
Yes.
several years. That was the actual promoter. Prior to this event, the police chief came to the promoter and said, hey, there's a lot of people that warned them prior to the event even starting. So, I mean, I think it all trickles down. There's a chain of command.
Mhm.
Well, here's the thing about it: the fire chief has the right to shut a venue down
Exactly.
Yeah.
at any
For
given
capacity.
time for
Mhm.
capacity. So he felt that it was deemed unsafe.
He should have shut it
He
down.
should have shut it down right then and there. So let's start right there.
Well,
Absolutely.
and I agree with James and Jill when you agree to go to these concerts. Unfortunately, things happen. Y'all remember in Indianapolis about 5-7 years ago when
On
the
the
wind
stage?
came
On
down,
the stage.
they sued the promoter
Right.
Mhm.
for that. That had nothing to do with the show. The wind, that was an act of God. The storm came through. They didn't know the weather was going to change.
Mhm.
So what I'm saying is, it's sad that these people lost their lives. It's a bad mess, and there's more stuff coming out. It's a bad
Mhm.
mess of affairs.
Yes.
Who's responsible? Could it be the fire chief? Could it be the promoter? Who knows? All of these people are named, but the thing is, you got to know where you're surrounded. My mama
Yes.
always told me, know where you are, know your surroundings. So
Yes, and not to give anybody a pass, because I do agree with what you guys are saying about people individually being accountable for their actions and decisions, especially parents that may have sent, young people
Mhm.
to the concert.
Unattended.
I don't know the story behind that. Were the parents there and the kid got trampled? I don't know. But
But why was a
there
9-year-old
was
at that show?
that's true. But there were, as far as I know, there was a 56-page safety contract.
Mm-hmm.
And so one thing I would say, poor planning.
Yeah.
Not actually having a plan, a safety plan in place for that type of crowd.
Yeah.
So crowd control,
Yes.
or if somebody's going to rush the stage,
Right.
not having enough people in place. So between Astra World, I would say, and Live Nation, you know, somebody's going to have to.
You said 50,000 people, right?
Yeah, they said
50,000.
it
So
was
were
gonna be
you
like-
going to have the Army Reserve there, or the military
they coulda
police,
had-
or
Exactly.
They could have had
50,000 people?
They could have had different dividers, different things to separate people. And so just depending on what was in the contract, there's certain things you can put in place for crowd control.
Well, can I ask you
They
a
didn't
question?
have anything in place for crowd
At what
control.
point do we blame the crowd?
Right. Right.
At what
At
point?
this point,
Yeah.
I don't know if it's time for
Why
that.
not?
And I do understand what you're
Why
saying,
not?
because
Because
I
you-
think they still need to do some investigating still. Good for everyone. Live Nation is cooperating and everybody's doing what they can do at this time. Even Travis has stepped forward to say he's going to pay for
Yeah, Roddy
the,
Ricch.
you know, all of the funerals.
Yeah.
He's also partnering with people to do counseling
Yeah.
for anybody that was there and other
Right.
families.
But
And
at
you know,
what
so
point
I
do
mean, they're
we-
stepping
but
up
at
to
what
do
point-
something.
At what point do we literally say, okay, we got to hold the people that was in the crowd accountable? Because just because I'm on stage rapping or I'm on stage singing, and you trying to push your way through, knowing that there's a multitude of people in front of me.
Good point, E.
So at
Yeah.
what point do we stop trying to blame all the venues that was hosting it and put the responsibility on the people that was in the crowd that's pushing through,
It's
Right.
that's trembling over
Yes.
people? So I mean, you cannot sit
It's
back
two sides.
Can I?
Before
it's
we
two
move
sides
on,
to be blamed.
I want
let
to
me
get
implement
too,
something,
Yeah.
C-Stats, before you do that.
Mhm.
Michelle says, I don't care. His music attracts kids and it's sick music. They tried shutting it down. Travis didn't want to. Why would he sing, or why would he say such demonic music? With they saying that his music is terrible,
Right.
and his music is inflicting these people to act the way that they're acting,
Are
which
you
is
serious?
causing the chaos. So
And
that's what we got. Somebody just shared
Yeah.
that with
And
us.
that's cool. I don't know what Travis lyrics are,
So I can
can't
read you a
really
line
speak
real
to
quick.
that.
He says, "Ain't a mosh pit if there's no injuries. I got him on stage, jumping off, getting nosebleeds." So this is the line that's all over. But if you pick anybody, you know, there was an issue at an AC/DC concert. So there was an issue at a Guns N' Roses concert back in the day, you know, where people
You're
get
showing
trampled.
your
You know why
age.
I don't go to these concerts? Because it's too many people for me. So that's why I don't go.
Mhm.
But I mean, I do agree that he probably doesn't have the best lyrics, but the people coming to the concert knew what the lyrics were before they got there.
And a parent that bought a ticket for the young kids, I'm still, you know, again, that's crazy, weird. That's my opinion. But if they knew what the lyrics were, why again
Right.
were their children?
You're not going to see a stranger. You're going to see somebody that a lot of people
Absolutely.
worship.
Absolutely.
But before we move on, I want to answer Michelle with his lyrics. The federal court, because I don't know if y'all know your age, but Judas Priest got sued late 90s, late 80s, early 90s, because someone killed somebody and they said the Judas Priest lyrics incited that.
Mhm.
And the court decided that the lyrics alone cannot incite people to do those things. It's up to the person. So his lyrics did not incite that riot. It really did. But as a person that does shows and have been on shows and seen that thing work, you're right, Doc V. First and foremost, the venue is probably the most liable person or people other than the promoters.
I disagree, man.
Hold on. I'm gonna
Go
tell
ahead,
you.
Doc.
I'm gonna tell you why.
I disagree.
We'll
with
talk,
you, James.
but I'm gonna tell you why. Because when we get a venue, first of all, Doc V, they give us the venue alone has their own safety plan that we have to
Have
agree
to agree to.
and they tell us first and foremost, if we are not adhering to those venues, Fort Wayne is staunch on security. We
That's
got to
right.
have so many police officers
Per
per number
number of
of people
people.
that we have.
Absolutely.
We don't have those police officers there. We cannot have that show.
That's right.
They have to show that. it has to be approved by the fire marshal. Like he said, they got to make sure that our capacity and our tickets cannot exceed the capacity of the place. They make sure that. So what I'm saying is, it's a bunch of people that's are
liable,
responsible.
That's right.
But the venue is probably, and I'm telling you from professional experience, that they are probably the most liable.
And a lot of times,
like
know
when you say stuff like that, and you hear people say that, words are powerful. I know, and words can incite things to happen. But when you look at the way the world is today, like rappers are considered dangerous now. Like you go to a rap concert, it's hard to get it insured.
Yeah, that's true.
You know,
it
because
really
they talk about the lyrics and how it impacts the
Mhm.
mindset in the crowd. So when you look at this young man, like, I don't know where you draw the line at, man. It's like freedom of speech at what cost?
Mhm.
You know what I'm saying?
Mhm.
First of all,
Mhm.
each individual has a mind.
Mhm.
Why are you acting the way you're acting?
Right.
You know, collectively. So the venue is not at fault, I don't think, because when you look at the venue is just a space. And then it's what comes into the space that changes the atmosphere of the space.
Right.
Like, that's just reality in life. So when you talk about the venue, I don't think the venue has anything to do with it. The venue you come in, you present what you want to present. Okay, these are the guidelines. We got 50,000 people coming up in this joint, right?
Right.
So when the 50,000 people come in, man, now you're talking about we need a military there. We need a small military there
Right.
to
Yes.
police the place, right?
Yes.
So do you not do the concert?
Right.
Well, did you get the military there? Did you have the number of police officers per number of people?
I mean,
So
evidently
at the end of the day,
evidently he had to have the amount of police officers that they supposed to, because they let the venue go.
Right.
well, this is what
That's
I'm saying
not
when I
always
say
true.
they still have the investigation
Yeah.
going forth, because you don't really know that. But the truth is, when I say there's two sides to it, and people need to take ownership on both sides.
Yeah.
So I'm not saying, especially the parent that I heard that was heartbroken, losing his child to this. So I'm not saying, okay, too bad because you sent your kid. You should have made a better choice. That is definitely not going to come out of my mouth. What I'm saying is the venue has a certain part to play in
Yes.
this, where they do have to be held accountable, and you'll see how things play out.
Right.
Again, it depends on what was written in that contract and how they adhere to those rules.
Jill,
Right,
before
and-
you move on, let me make a point. The reality of life, man, is that people need to stop worshiping
Yes.
so many things.
Yes. I
If
agree
it's
with
an
that.
artist, if it's an entertainer, if it's a car, I don't care what it is.
Yes.
People need to begin to control their mental state and
Yeah.
their mental
I
mind,
agree.
man,
I
and stop
wholeheartedly agree with that.
allowing
I
them,
agree.
like, your mind, you're manipulated, you're put in the atmosphere, music comes on, and you lose your mind.
Mhm.
Exactly.
That's naturally standing on insanity right there,
Yes.
man.
It is.
So people need to be held accountable for their actions.
Mhm.
Right. Right.
Yeah. So
Period.
all across the
You
board.
know what?
Mm.
I hate to say this, and I don't want to go somewhere else because that was so awesome. But I also want to say we have to remember that everybody doesn't have the same stable mind that we may have. And you have some people out there that's actually being sucked into lyrics and music because they may have low self-esteem or be suffering from a type of depression and some type of mental illness. And so, all we can do is pray for those people that they're stronger. But parents need to be more aware of what type of music their children are listening to. So maybe as they grow up, it won't be that they have a fantasy
Right.
and a desire to go to those type of
And
concerts.
the talk right now, there's a lot out there. We weren't there. None of us were there. So whether you
Yes.
think that Travis had a legal or a moral obligation, none of us were there. The videos that were shown are what
Yes.
the media chooses to show us. So again, we pray for those victims.
Yes.
Yes.
And we pray for
Absolutely.
Travis.
Yes.
Absolutely.
Yes.
Yes, we do.
Yes.
Reparations. So this is a word that Black people have been talking about for a very long time. And tonight we're going to talk about reparations, but it's not for Black people. It's
Mm-mm.
Biden's reparations.
Yes. Yes. Yes.
For who?
For, I
For
was
who?
gonna say for
Well,
who?
Well, actually,
For
the White
what?
House and President Biden and his staff are saying that the children and the parents that were separated by the Border Patrol and by ICE and all of that, they deserve compensation.
Like Monopoly? Like when you pass?
Yeah. Well,
Okay.
well, he's saying that it was a stress on the families and it was so much trauma and damage that these people deserve some kind of compensation.
You gonna go first? Your answer, man.
Wasn't it
Hold on, hold on,
400?
hold on.
That
But
would be
I'm gonna let
nice.
y'all.
But
That's what I'm saying. You gonna go
he's
first,
saying
man.
he's leaving it up to the Department of Justice to set the number. But the starting number is fixed at $450,000 or more per individual.
All I say is 40 acres
And
and a mule.
40 acres. I agree with that.
Homestead, man.
Right.
My
40
question, I mean,
I think he
Okay.
just wanted to use the word.
okay, I'm starting to sweat under my hat here.
Throw it off.
He want to give the people from at the border that got separated from their loved ones 400-some thousand per person, right?
a minimum of 400.
I'm just want to wrap
Yeah.
my head around this. okay?
450.
And we have so many.
It's hard to even talk about it.
Okay,
I'm
take a
trying
break.
I'm trying not to cuss.
Go ahead. Right now, for a minute, we are.
Where in the hell
Bleep.
do we think? Why can't black folks get ours? What the? Man,
Yeah. Well, I agree.
I'm trying to figure.
You have
this
to
out
go to
because-
Afghanistan and cross
Because
over.
the simple fact,
Mm.
I mean, my ancestors, got separated. They killed our brothers. They took the kids from
Yeah,
our
their
from a
parents.
slave.
That's right.
And they did all this just to keep us the way that we are. But you wait, you got people at the border that trying to break that. Well, I'm not. Forget it. I am going to be rude about it. They're trying to break into the United States. We was stolen from our land. These people trying to break in, even though they're trying to get a better life. We was taken from our land
Mhm.
and separated, beat, and all that, and we can't get $1 from y'all. Man, y'all go to hell with that. For real.
I can't
I'm
I can't
serious.
go behind that. And that's no
All right.
disrespect.
Yeah.
Like, that's
Yeah.
profound.
Yeah.
There's no more we can add to that.
No, there's not. There's not. Moving on.
Yeah.
So we were having a discussion the other night in the studio about these ships that are sitting around, with everybody's Christmas gifts and groceries and everything else.
Mhm.
So we were kind of discussing amongst ourselves, why do we have these labor issues when we have so many different sources of labor that we could be using?
Yeah.
Would you be talking about the prisoners, perhaps?
Prisoners, going back to Afghanistan.
These refugees.
Yeah, and I say give homeless people an opportunity
Give homeless
to
people an
to
opportunity.
make
Man,
some
you know, the
money and
easiest
to
thing to
change
do
their
is,
life.
especially if they out in California trying to talk about they ain't got enough laborers.
Right.
You could walk down what's the name of that street with all the stars on it?
Rodeo,
Hollywood Boulevard.
Hollywood Boulevard.
Okay.
Actually is one of the most the most
Populated.
yeah, that word right there.
Okay.
Populated with homeless.
Yes.
If you walk down Hollywood Boulevard, literally, there's homeless people sitting in front of all these
That's
supposed
right.
to be
They out there.
fancy shops and stuff.
Yeah.
But if you just
Yeah.
walk down that whole street and say, "Hey, come on, I got a job for y'all,"
That's right.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Right.
it's
you
just
got-
that simple. And the funny part about it, 9 times out of 10, a homeless person has some type of skill,
Mhm.
Absolutely.
a real skill.
Mhm.
And now wrap your head around this. If they could survive out on the streets, and if you go to Tent Town in California,
Mm-hmm.
under that bridge, you will see some of these tents and some of they decked out.
Yeah.
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 Yeah. Well,
That's
Unfortunately.
good. E.
A
Good.
lot of things we think they should do, it just don't make sense
Right,
the way
it
they really
doesn't.
do it.
It
Because
absolutely doesn't.
yeah, forever I've always thought,
Well-
even going to war, hate to say this, I mean, family in prison, whoever, but why not get the murderers out of out of prison and send them to the war front line first, train them.
The gangsters.
They want to shoot, kill gang members,
Right.
etc.
Right.
Boom, there's a
Send-
place
send
for
them
you.
out there.
Right. 'Cause they're already working for
I'm just
pennies
saying-
on the dollar. They're working for. They're getting paid
I'm just
nothing
saying,
as it is.
it makes too much sense.
But Jill mentioned it, and not to take away from Eric's passionate about reparations, but you're bringing these refugees in, and
Mhm.
you're giving them handouts.
Put them.
I mean, I'm saying, if they want the land of the opportunity, I think that they should train them and put them to work.
Yeah.
Did not just make everything free for them.
Yeah.
I mean, because there's people in this country that can't get some of the things that they're getting.
Mhm.
Yeah.
So I would say, hey, give them 6 weeks to get acclimated, put them in their workforce, find a job
and
that they
then
can
on
do.
top of that, make them pay taxes.
because in the Constitution, and then it says if you're coming here, you must be able to provide a skill. That's how you get your citizenship.
Mhm.
That was obviously it's not now, but if they don't have a skill, give them a skill and let them be able to
Right.
go
Get
do
out
these
there.
jobs.
Get
If you
get
didn't
to
bring
work.
a skill with you, here you
Yes.
go. This
Yeah,
is your skill.
get to the ship. Maybe I can get my shipment of stuff I ordered. A load show. It
Yeah, because there's a lot of stuff sitting out there.
is.
Yeah.
Yes.
Robin Hood and the latest data breach. Let's talk about
Uh-oh.
that.
I'm beginning to believe, and I've never dealt with Robinhood, but I hear people say they made so much money off Robinhood. I'm beginning to believe personally Robinhood is a scam.
So I should cancel my Robin Hood account.
Here's what I'm saying.
It's
Think
scaring
about it. Robinhood is the same company that blew up. What was it? GameStop when they were about to file bankruptcy. They manipulated the stock market somehow and made GameStop viable again. And now they're having this. And then at one point they had where people were just losing money. They couldn't find their money in their accounts. And now they have
I
this
better
data
get off of
breach.
there.
Yeah, they have this data breach. Like 7 million people,
Ooh.
7 million customers. All your information was breached. Your birthday,
Oh,
social security number,
Lord.
zip code, address.
It's a big deal.
Everything
They
was
got
breached.
me.
They got you.
Oh my God.
And they said now they want you to watch your credit report and everything so you're not
Oh,
fraud.
man.
Who was that? Equifax last year, wasn't it? Equifax that paid
Paid the
everybody that
money.
$11. You know, everybody they sent you a check for
Yeah.
$11. Equifax. So you know, it's
Okay.
that's where we are. Robinhood is there
Right.
again.
Robin.
Right.
Okay.
Right.
Gotcha. I'm glad you told me.
I know Clarence has been dying to talk about this. Big Bird.
Well,
Pulling
Now-
up his sleeve.
yeah. Well, Ted Cruz.
Specific.
We all know who Ted Cruz is. He's a senator from Texas. Ted Cruz is mad at Big Bird because Big Bird got his vaccination on air. No,
Who-
he actually got
Nah,
his vaccination.
Who was Big Bird, man? Excuse me. Who was Big Bird?
Big Bird from Sesame Street. The big yellow bird from Sesame Street.
James,
So
stop.
we're talking about the character.
We're talking about the
Yes.
character. We're actually talking about
Sesame
the
Street.
Sesame Street character. We're not talking about anybody else going by this name. We're talking
Okay.
about the Muppet, the Sesame
Yeah.
Street character.
Big yellow
I
feathers.
can't.
So
can't.
Big
please.
Bird got, say that again. I'm
He
lost.
got his vaccination, his COVID vaccine, live on air.
I want
In his arm.
Was he in the costume?
Yes,
Yes.
the bird, not
So
the
the
person
bird
that
got a
plays.
vaccine.
Not the
wanna
person
see
that
the-
plays, James.
I'm-
the actual
Hold on, wait a minute.
bird.
Wait a
Exactly.
minute.
Next.
I wonder if he got the bird flu
Next.
vaccination.
Oh
But
wow,
no.
that's awesome.
But here's where it is. So
Next.
I'm really gonna have to agree with Ted Cruz
Okay.
because he's saying they're using children program to condition children for things that they don't have to. Now we would be talking out of both sides of our neck if we condemn when they put Gonzarella on there, you know, as a cross dresser,
Mhm.
and now it's the same
Gonzo.
thing. Now it's the same thing. It was Gonzarella,
No, but his name is Gonzo.
but the character was
Did Gonzarella get her shot on air or no?
I don't know about that, but here's what I'm saying.
His mama named me Gonzo.
So you gonna call it Gonzo? but I agree with Ted Cruz. I think they're using too many kid shows to promote things to children that don't have to be promoted. And
Anybody
this is one of those things.
who wouldn't agree with Ted Cruz in this case? Why do we need to see a flipping bird?
A bird,
A bird, like
character.
a whole.
Nothing real.
Yeah, that's like seeing Winnie the Pooh get his vaccination. Nobody gives a about Winnie the Pooh getting their vaccination in a crop top. So is it because it's
Man, Winnie the Pooh
Thanksgiving and
stay
that's
high.
why?
Don't do him like that. Don't do him.
I mean,
But I'm just
He
saying,
always high.
it's a joke, but it's real.
it's real.
But you guys do realize that kids do influence their parents. I hope y'all realize that. So if they're driving down the street and there's McDonald's, guess what? They start pointing. And
Well,
so
see-
this the same psychology behind it.
We talking about Big Bird.
I know, and I'm saying that there's gonna be some kids that see that and say, "Mom,
I
Big
want-
Bird got his shot. I
wanna
want to
get
get
mine."
mine."
And that's a bunch of
That's
crap.
so that's what it is.
Who
It's
is
all
the
like,
My
person?
why
question
do-
is, here's the funny part about it. If the vaccine was so safe, why is it taking them so long now to give the vaccines to the kids? But it's supposed to be so safe.
They-
And then on top of that, now you got boosters, so they're gonna have boosters, characters getting booster shots for the kids.
Well,
Make it make sense, please.
Exactly.
But they've already had like 360,000 children under the age of 12 get the vaccination already.
Yeah.
So and Jill Biden, I mean, she's pushing it, so she has a good campaign going right now, promoting
She
the
got a good
kids
campaign to turn the kids
yeah,
into
getting the
zombies
kids,
too, huh?
yes, getting the school age kids
We've never
vaccinated.
did Big Bird get his chickenpox vaccine or HPV vaccine. I mean
Yeah.
that to me is it's just weird putting characters on there to get their vaccines. But anyways, so there's that. State Street
Yeah.
Global. They're rolling out a new diversity initiative. So we're going to go ahead and talk about that for a second and how they are trying to make their company more diverse and what they're putting in place in order to make sure that that happens.
State Street is one of the largest investment firms in the world.
Correct.
They are one of the largest investment firms in the world. But here's what they're saying. They're saying by 2023, they're going to hire more minorities, Black, Asians, and other minorities to their staff. They will still hire white men, but they will be the last. No, this is their statement.
It's real, yeah.
They will hire white
For real,
men,
for real.
but they will be the last candidates considered.
Mhm.
Every other candidate has to be eliminated. And they're going to focus. They're not just going to be like, oh, you're a Black man? No, we can't have you, and go down the list. They are going to be vetted, and the people that are hiring are going to be held accountable. They are strict on getting their numbers balanced in racial equality in this company.
Right, even more so to
Exactly.
where it will affect their pay. So if they do not meet this target, they could face lower bonuses. So, I mean, it's going to
Real.
hit, when you hit people in their pockets, that's real. This is very real.
And we don't know what
Wow.
number they're at right now, but they say they want to triple
Yes.
the number of minorities
Correct.
within their organization by 2023. So
Correct.
that's a beautiful thing. I've never heard or seen
I've never heard of
anything
nothing like
that.
this before in my
So,
life either.
Wow.
Yeah. Hats off to
Man, I'm going to get
Them
my
for
finance
sure.
degree tomorrow.
definitely.
Real, real.
Tomorrow.
I'm sitting there thinking,
That's awesome.
So I've been super excited to talk about this. It's the new Colin Kaepernick series, Black and White. It's a 6-series, limited series on Netflix that basically is an autobiography about his life, his struggles. If you have not seen this, Black, white, Asian, Hispanic, old, young, you need to watch this. If anything, I really think that this is his message and it makes a lot of sense, even if you have no idea who he is. Maybe you've judged him for what he did in the game. But let me tell you, I mean, he went deep. He compared the NFL draft to slavery, talking about being prodded.
Mhm.
He had
Sold.
yeah, exactly. I mean,
Yes.
he went very deep, and this was his life. So if you have not seen it, I absolutely I advise you to do so. Something that stuck out to me is he was adopted. His parents were white. And there's a lot of times throughout the series where you're almost aggravated with his parents because they don't understand
Mhm.
one time they got pulled over and the cop was absolutely profiling their son, who was
Mhm.
Black,
Mhm.
making sure that the white parents were okay in the vehicle, and they were just completely oblivious. But at the same time, the mother went
Mhm.
into a predominantly Black neighborhood because he wanted his hair done in braids, and she hadn't the slightest idea, but she wanted to help him fit in. So it's
Yes.
just a very, very good series to watch.
Yeah.
Six episodes, really,
Yes.
really good show.
And you know what? They're so interesting that I really didn't realize it was 6. I kind of just kept,
Yeah.
going with it. But I like that they have him narrating it and then he becomes, a
It's
part of
awesome.
it. And
Mhm.
so not to, spoil it for you and put anything else out there, but it is very educational.
Yeah.
So I'll say
Yes.
that.
You know what I like about it is Colin proved the NFL that he didn't need them. He's unapologetic to who he is,
Mhm.
to what
Say
he
it again.
believes in,
Mhm.
Yes.
what he stands for. The
You're
NFL
unapologetic for what?
for being Black,
Okay,
for being
there
a
we go.
man, a Black man.
Yes.
Where they thought that, like you say, the slavery
Mhm.
and things when you bought and sold in the draft or however he depicted it,
Yes.
he proved to them that I am my own commodity.
Mm-hmm.
I'm the one that makes. You don't make me.
That's
And
right.
money was not the issue. He was
Yeah.
like, money is not an issue. I can make it without you. So
Yeah.
I do commend him on that.
But it definitely pulls on your
It
heartstrings.
does.
And I gotta say, on behalf of the beauty industry, the fro is off the chain. and it's good to see a real fro on
Yeah, I
can
TV
grow a fro.
these days.
I
I like to see it.
Somebody made a
We walking
statement
around
and
here looking like
said,
a dandelion.
they said, what I found most compelling about Colin or Colin?
Colin.
It's not Colin?
It's
Okay.
not Colin. It's Colin.
Colin. What I
You
found
always
most
got these
compelling
jokes.
about Colin in Black and White is something I wish the show had spent more time exploring. And it says Kaepernick's decision to choose being black.
Oh, yes.
Oh, it's so awesome.
yes,
I love it. I'm
yes.
so glad that he
Yeah,
did.
and I would really like for them to explore his relationship with his parents now.
Right. What I really thought was
I was gonna
interesting is
say.
from the beginning, I mean, there were a lot of times where even Colin didn't know that he was being profiled. You know, he just had this sense of innocence. And
That's
being with this
right.
white family, he almost felt like he was protected. But in reality, at the end of the day, he was still black.
That's right.
It's just very good. I don't want to give it away, but it's
Go watch it.
absolutely a must-see. Go watch.
And so, just because of that comment, that was an awesome comment. I just want to say, I believe that he was searching for, that thing that
Mhm.
was missing.
Yeah.
Right.
So he saw the white people all around him. He ate the white food.
Yep.
He tasted the white
Yeah,
food
he
or
seasoned
didn't.
it once he
And
tasted it.
either way,
Have a piece of that white
he
on the
was was curious about that part of him that was missing.
Right.
So that's how I see that part. So awesome comment. Question. Yes.
Before we wrap things up, we're going to touch a little bit on sports, local sports, and Aaron Rodgers is in the news, and then we're going to go on to entertainment before we wrap it up.
Oh, Aaron Rodgers.
I have a problem with this.
You gonna stay calm?
PG.
I gotta stay PG with this.
Yes.
One? I
Yeah.
get-
Yeah.
All right. I use my cuss pass. on
Yeah,
it?
you already
Yes,
used
you
it.
get one.
Okay. Aaron Rodgers lied.
He didn't lie.
When he said he was immune.
He said he was immunized. He didn't say he was
whatever.
vaccinated.
But see, when he said that led them to believe that he was vaccinated.
No.
No, that's
No.
not what led them to believe that.
trying
The
to
man
tell you.
flat out perpetrated. He attended every event that said vaccinated only.
He never said he was vaccinated.
So, my biggest problem.
He made
is-
people think he was vaccinated.
Yeah, and it made people think he was vaccinated and all this. But it's funny how they not really jumping on him like they did Kyrie for not being vaccinated and saying and he's not gonna be vaccinated. And here's where one of the biggest problems I have. If y'all know who this guy is, Stephen A. Smith.
Yeah.
Stephen A. Smith defended the fact of Aaron Rodgers.
Hmm.
He defended Aaron Rodgers in this situation,
I got you.
but jumped on Kyrie.
Stephen A. Smith never worked in the field.
And I understand that. I'm just saying. Let's make it make
Somebody
sense.
gonna catch that on there.
Yeah, I got you. I'm with you. I'm with you on that. But I mean, he trying to make it seem like Kyrie's being so selfish. Talking about he lured these other two players so they can win a championship, but not understanding that Kyrie's standing on his principle.
Mhm.
But he sit on air and defend Aaron Rodgers the whole whole way through. Come on, Steven, man.
Yeah.
Let me get your black card, please.
I'm telling you, he never worked in the field.
Let me get your black
Wow.
card.
He don't have no
Black card.
patents
I
on
need
his
your black
fingers.
card. And I need it on the table by
black
the end of the
card.
night.
Something else.
But I totally agree with that. But to clear this up, and I understand the Doc V, and we talked about this yesterday. Truthfully, he didn't lie. He misled, but he didn't lie.
So if you misleading, what is that?
Yeah, see, Stats, you got to explain
No,
the difference
no.
between
What-
I'm misleading
What a lot of people do day to
I'ma
day,
ask you a
Hold on,
they
hold on.
hold
Can-
back the whole story.
So
That's what
if
I'm
I
saying.
don't tell you the whole truth, what is that?
I just didn't tell you the
The
whole
whole
truth.
truth.
What- if I didn't tell you the whole
He didn't
truth,
tell you the
what
whole
is that?
truth.
What is that?
It's not the.
Knowing when
lie.
to, knowing when to shut up.
Because he never. And that's why everybody's trying to say he
You know
lied.
something?
They allowed him. No,
I
here's the
want
thing.
your
He didn't
cards
lie.
too. I need your cards with Stephen
No,
A.
no, I'm
I
not.
need your
I'm
cards
not
with Stephen
defending.
A.
I'm not defending. I'm not
Come on,
defending
bruh.
Stephen A. But here's what I'm saying about Aaron Rodgers. Just because they didn't do their due diligence, and they gave. This is the problem. They gave him a pass because he's Aaron Rodgers. They didn't double check. Now had Justin Fields went and did the same thing, they'd have double checked on Justin Fields. They wouldn't have gave Justin Fields the benefit of the doubt. I'm just saying they just
If
didn't.
he didn't tell the whole truth, what did he do?
He told them that he was immunized. They never asked any further
had good
questions.
James, I'm gonna
intentions.
ask you a question. If I don't tell you the whole truth, what is that?
You didn't ask the
I
right
said
question.
James. Hold on. I said James. If I don't tell you the whole truth, what is that?
Well, to omit part of this truth is really not a whole. This truth is partially truth.
That's too much.
So he
pausing
lied.
in that.
He lied.
He lied.
He was trying.
Let me just answer your
Yeah,
question.
he
He
lied.
lied.
Yeah.
I was trying to help the brother.
Misleading, maybe.
I wanted to keep my
misleading.
black card
Oh, you got your
or light skin card, whatever.
Well,
I got.
he-
Whatever.
He's taking them away tonight.
I'm just saying.
We've got to get out of here, but we're going to
We
end
do.
talking about the Congress passed the 1.2 trillion dollar
Yes.
infrastructure bill.
Mm-hmm.
Let's talk about that a little bit. I know there's a lot in there. There's a lot.
There ain't no reparations in there for us.
Well, no,
I was
because
gonna say.
those are gone.
Talking about something
Those
Well,
are gone.
Okay,
There's
but
no
the Black
reparations.
Caucus helped push it over,
Yeah.
push it through.
Yeah, and those are the
I need
same
that
people
card
that probably
too.
gonna give reparations to the people at the border.
Yeah,
if
exactly.
my
I need
name,
your
if
card
they ain't got
too.
no check on with my name on it,
Is there anything good coming from the 1.2 trillion?
Well, I mean, to break it down, there's a lot for the ports, the transportation, electric vehicles, zero emission, low emission buses, revitalization of communities, broadband, power, clean drinking water, resilience, Western water, removal of pollution. I mean, the list goes on and on.
they gonna get
Bridges,
Flint
public
water?
transit,
are they gonna
transit.
get
Are
Flint
they
water?
gonna get Flint
How about
some
middle
water?
middle income?
And that's exactly what I thought when I saw the water because
they
it
gonna-
doesn't say Flint on there.
That should
Oh
have been the
my
number
God.
one. You know something?
Poor
That should
Flint.
be the
Mhm.
number one thing on Bonnie's list right now. Seriously.
Getting
It-
Flint
it's
some water?
getting Flint some water. Instead of trying to give them I would take that 400,000 that he trying to give to each person at the border
Get Flint some water?
and fix
They're
Flint.
part of that.
Yeah, that is
No,
ridiculous.
no, but nah.
They're part of.
Let me ask you
fixing
guys
that.
a question. When we hear that number, 1.2 trillion dollars, right?
Mm-hmm.
Reality. Wrap your head around. Does anybody in the room know how much money out of the American budget is spent on our military? The percentile.
47%.
The number has climbed to 60.
Seriously.
Seriously.
Mhm.
Wow.
So when you hear 1.2 trillion,
60% of that going to
but
the military.
then that's just that budget.
Mhm.
There's a whole nother spectrum to
Right.
this.
Mhm.
So America is extremely interesting. Eric said earlier, man, about the matrix.
Mhm.
Reality, man, is that everybody in America is in the matrix. Whoever those people are that are sitting behind the walls making these decisions, man, they're totally puppet masters to all of us. It's reality.
Absolutely. Something that stuck out to me, revitalization of communities, $1 billion. So that's a very blanket statement for revitalization of communities. And sometimes we can call that another word, which we call gentrification.
Mhm.
So we thank you for being here with us tonight. We ask you to join us tomorrow at 8:30 as we talk about gentrification on a local level, on a national level. What is it? Big fancy word. What is it? How does it affect you? And has it affect you? So again, please remember to like, subscribe, share, and join us back here tomorrow at 8:30.
Somebody said, y'all are so dope. I truly enjoy watching.
High speed chase, 405 is the freeway. Slanging my, banging my, swinging my coup. DeVille,